Lord. Hope everyone is well tonight, and just take a few moments to relax, get yourself set up, get your water, bring tissues if you feel you're going to need them. Um, what else? Maybe take a pen and paper in case you want to take some notes. I'm just going to put everybody on mute, and we're just letting some more people in. In order to see me full screen, you can view speaker mode under the view on the top right corner, or you can use the three dots on my screen to pin me, and then you will get my full face. Everyone can hear me okay? We can use the chat box to communicate, that would be amazing. Just take, okay, great, we've got thumbs up as well, awesome, thank you. Just take a few moments to take some breaths and to just be grateful that you got here. Thank you, Helen. Sent me a very nice direct message. It's good lighting. Delighted to have made tonight. Yes, I hear you. Can often feel so pressured when we want to do these events and stressed trying to get here. So just give yourself a little bit of a breather now. And maybe this is the first deep breath you have taken all day. And if that's the case, really enjoy it. Give yourself that moment now while we're setting up. I'm going to take you through some tapping tonight, but I'm going to need your feedback. But I've got an overview of some things that we're going to look at. Can I just, if you could let me know if you're new to tapping, please let me know in the chat box. That would be awesome. Thank you. I just want to gauge how many people are new to tapping here tonight. Mairead, you got in. Awesome. New for sure. Awesome. Welcome. I know I recognize a few names from people we've have in our group. So Emma Fisher is also new. Awesome. Hi, Emma. Nice to have you here. Another Emma did one on Instagram with me a while ago. Amazing. So Mel, I've done your intro video on the Mother Mind. Oh, amazing. Well done. Well done for being here. Firstly, thank you for being here, for allowing me to support you at a group level to release some of these emotions that we're carrying from our negative birth experiences. Secondly, I'm sorry that you have had these birth experiences. From my stories the other day, it seems like 75% have had some level of birth trauma, which is quite incredible, really. And also, you know, it feels like that's more the norm. And if we know that a difficult experience at birth is more the norm, then maybe we would all prepare better. Maybe we would make sure we were supported better. Maybe we would, make sure we have advocates for ourselves in these situations. I don't know. But I think sometimes normalizing these things makes us feel less alone for having these experiences. Just going to check in case anybody is struggling to get in. Just going to check my direct messages just in case. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a quick run through of what trauma is, how it affects your body, and talk a little bit about what I call the trauma capsule. Now, I have no idea how your birth experience has been impacting you. I'm just going to talk about trauma, birth trauma, and how it is possibly impacting you. You may have had some of these things, you may have had all of these things. you might relate to some things, you might not relate to some things. Okay, so everyone is different. How we interpret every situation is so different. So, you know, three of us here could have the same birth on paper, the exact same birth, and we're all going to interpret it in a different way. And when we're born, and over the next kind of 7 years, we develop our belief system. What we believe shapes the rest of our life, and what we believe is based on our own experiences as a child. And our own birth experience can actually impact us. And that can go on to lead to a possible similar situation between mum and daughter, or mum and daughter. Like some mothers have quick births, and then their daughters go on to also have quick births, that kind of thing. It's because they've grown up believing that they will have a quick birth because their mum had a quick birth, possibly. So we have this belief system, and our belief system is our filter for our experiences. And when we have a negative experience, we will create either a belief, make a decision, or generate some kind of energy. Now, I want to explain what emotions are for you, because we're working a lot with emotions tonight. Emotions are energy in motion. So they're not necessarily bad, positive emotions, negative emotions, they're just all energy, and each energy feels a little bit different. Like anger will feel different to guilt, will feel different to disappointment, will feel different to sadness, and grief, which will feel different to joy and love and peace. They all feel a little different. They all have a different frequency. And really, my goal as a human being now is to remove as much dense, heavy frequencies in my body as possible, so I can live in a state of more peace or more joy or more happiness, because they're the energies or the frequencies that I want to feel and can feel because I've let go of the denser energy. That's kind of how I interpret my life now, and it's from years of learning and understanding about energy and how energy works. So I just wanted to cover off a little bit of that and explain this trauma capsule. So when we have this negative experience, we almost create a bubble or a capsule around that experience. Imagine in this bubble now you've got the movie of your birth experience, or any other experience that you've had, like a car crash or a loss or something. In that bubble is the energy created from that experience, the negative interpretation of that experience. And when we don't work on that energy, and we don't acknowledge that energy or release the energy, it just gets kind of held in time and suspended in time. And that then floats around our conscious mind. So, trauma can manifest as intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, depression, a lot of shame, guilt, a heavy energy. It can manifest as exhaustion, manifest as physical pain. We might get physical pain as in our backs or in our hearts. I mean, certainly after we lost our daughter, I had what felt like a knife in my heart for 3 solid months, until I did some releasing work with some healers, and it slowly started to vanish, and it has never returned. So we can feel this energy in our body and in our energy fields in multiple different ways. And how we interpret, as I said before, how we interpret these situations is based on our own previous experiences in life and our own previous our belief system. So whatever we believe about ourselves, if I go into birth thinking the world's not a safe place in my subconscious mind, it's not going to help me to have a very calm, relaxed birth experience, because I will be expecting something to go wrong. Okay, now none of this is our fault. We subconsciously create these beliefs. This belief system is our safety strategy. It is there to keep us safe, but at some point in life, they become less useful and more limiting. And instead of our beliefs kind of easing and releasing over time, they in fact get more ingrained and stronger. So the work we're doing tonight is really in the deep subconscious. It's where we're holding our energy and our thoughts and our beliefs and our emotions. It's deep within our body and deep within our cells. And when you have looked at this time capsule and released some of the trauma, or released all the trauma from that event, you can replay the event from start to finish and not feel much, not feel almost detached to it, like it's not riling you up with that same anxiety or the same guilt or shame or sadness. And then really to do that fully, I would use matrix reimprinting, which is what was used with me, where 1-to-1 we would go through your birth experience and, work through every single scene of the movie and release it. But obviously what I'm trying to do is to support people on a group basis to take the edge off some of that energy and take the heat away, so that the body can start to relax. The body can go into, I suppose, rest, regeneration, recovery, switch off the stress response that you might still be in. We might be multiple years past having this bad birth experience, but yet we still get triggered by things. We might get triggered by seeing someone's very nice birth experience, or we might get very upset when we see someone having a difficult time, say in a movie or something. The goal is that when you release these emotions and release the thinking and the beliefs about it, you won't be as triggered as much. Life will feel and flow a little bit easier. Remember, going back to energy, the more we can release the denser energies, the better life's going to be. The more space you create in your energy field for love, joy, and peace and abundance. Does that all make sense before we go further into tonight's tapping? Any questions on that before we go ahead? Okay, no questions. So the goal of tonight is not to get you to relive your experience, because I'm not going to be there 1-to-1 to support you through that. But you can have it in your mind. So I want you to tune into the energies that have been created from your birth experience, but not to jump into literally reliving it as if you're watching it from the inside out. Does that make sense? And if that starts to happen, please stop, take a few breaths, keep tapping, try and move your mind from that, because I don't want you to, you don't need to relive the trauma. That's not what it's about. We kind of want to objectively connect to the energy that you might be holding from that experience. I'm going to sense check with you quite a few different emotions now, and I want you to think if I'm missing anything that comes to mind. I will check in with you as we go, so that I can pick things up as they come to your mind. But if something comes into your mind and I've not really covered that bit yet, please drop it in the chat, because I can then pick it up. Because the more relevant this is to you, the better the release is going to be. And can you also have a think about now rating the emotional heat from your birth trauma on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the worst. Have a think about that now. Think about where that energy is in your body, and let me know in the chat box. I want to get a gauge or a sense of where everybody is now, and then we will do the same thing at the end. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so we've got a 6. Thank you. An 8. 7, 7, 8. 5, 4, 8, 6. might be everybody. Okay, brilliant. So just take a note or come back to that later. I have written down some notes here. If memories of your birth do surface, acknowledge them, see them, allow them to come up and move through you. This is around validating that experience and holding true deep compassion to yourself for having gone through that. So if it does come up, the memory of your birth does come up, just if you can, see it like the movie in front of you, not jumping into the movie, but just allowing it to float through you. Acknowledge that version of yourself that was there doing that amazing job. And keep tapping, keep breathing, keep tapping. Okay, so the common emotions I have down is anxiety. So the kind of anxiety of the unknown, the anxiety of the build-up. Sometimes I will refer to things that might be a bit more specific to the COVID experience. How many here have gone through this negative birth experience in the last year and a half, 2 years? If I could just get a gauge on that, that would be great. Anger, frustration, sadness. Okay, so we've got September 2020, 4 months ago. Well done for doing this so soon. Well done. January 21 to 21, another for September 22, November 2020. 2 years, so not during COVID. Okay, so pre-COVID is 1. November 2020, a couple of those. Yeah, September 2019. Okay, so we've got 2 pre-COVID and mostly pre-COVID. If I say something that doesn't resonate with you, change the words to something that does resonate, or say my words. Because you will somehow, somewhere deep within your subconscious also connect to that energy, and it will help you. You know, we are in a collective here. We are sharing energies and we're going to support each other through it. So just tap along with me. Anxiety, anger, frustration, sadness, loneliness, powerlessness, helplessness, hopelessness, shock and trauma, guilt and shame, so feeling like a failure, fear of judgment, maybe judging oneself as well. You know, when you have the pressure to have this particular type of birth. Not being heard, feeling ignored, feeling unsupported, feeling overwhelmed, and feeling I'm not good enough and it's my fault. Anything that you think I've missed that relates to your experience. If you want to have a think about that and drop that in the box to me. And we're going to take these one by one. So we're going to tune into each of these and tap and release, and then move to the next one, tap and release, okay? And I will check in with you every now and then to make sure everything's okay. Panic, shock, trauma, panic, yeah. Disappointment, despair. Fear of leaving my children. Was that fear of leaving your other children to go have another child? Or fear of dying? Just want to clarify. Frustration, not being listened to. Yeah, definitely got that. Fear of dying. Okay. And fear of something happening to me. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Just making sure I've got all these down. Numbness. Yeah, that would be the shock, trauma, panic, numbness section. Excellent, thank you. Any beliefs created, do you think? Fear of the unknown. Any beliefs that you made about yourself or your caregivers. Just to let you know, at the end of the tapping, I'm going to take us on a bit of a visualization as well to do a request of a releasing. So I'll take you through that. And at the beginning of this session, I'm going to take us through a visualization as well to ground us. And we are going to go to a place called the light matrix that I like to take people. And we're going to imagine ourselves in a circle and we're going to tap from this place. And then when we do our visualization afterwards, you can take yourselves off to your own private place from there. It will make sense when we get there. Some said for me, the emotions are present when I think about having another birth due to the trauma of the last one. Okay, so fear, having another baby. Yeah, brilliant. I survived the last one, but not of the next. Should the focus be on releasing the emotions from last time or thinking forward? Both. So let's cover off the fear of having another baby for anyone else also wondering and feeling that. I believed I was stronger and could birth without so much assistance. Felt the induction was pressured on by staff. So did it made you feel a bit weak then in yourself? I'm not able, I can't cope. I'm not able, I can't cope. I'm not strong enough. And yeah, probably was pressured and put on you. I was feeling very positive about my birth experience for the whole pregnancy, but nothing went to plan. So I think disappointed when things are not going to plan. Yeah, I've got that down here. Where's that? Yeah. Disappointment, didn't go as planned. Belief created fear of being ill and depending on the healthcare system. Yeah, well, when you're not supported through something so in a position where you're so vulnerable, then of course you're going to also struggle putting your trust in the people that are supposed to look after you. So that is absolutely, totally understandable. Fear of being ill and depending healthcare system, giving up control and putting trust in others. Yeah. It's hard to do that when you've had this kind of experience. Felt I was in shock and unable to make my own decisions. Felt disappointment. Everything felt rushed. Like myself or baby did not matter. Yeah, I wonder if it's like you feel like a number rather than a human being giving birth. So where's this gone now? If I was in shock, unable to make my own decisions. Baby. Okay. Thank you so much for all this great sharing. Linda, my baby was injured during labour and did not feel heard. Felt overlooked and not listened to. Felt guilty as well. Oh my goodness, you poor thing. Poor thing. I hope your baby's okay now, Linda. Yeah, I have a section on not feeling heard. Where's that gone? Not feeling heard, feeling ignored, feeling suppressed, overlooked. And I have guilt as well. Okay. Amazing. Anything else anyone wants to share before we get started? That is a lot to cover. So, oh goodness, she broke her collarbone now. Attended physio and osteopath with her. Bless you. Oh, the poor wee thing. Not the start in life you would planned. Okay. Pressure to be super mom and bounce back. Yes. Where does that go now? Overwhelm. I mean, there is so much education required still on this birth journey that we're on. And last week I had Layla O'Mara talk in our membership about matrescence and the journey and the rite of passage of matrescence. And my gosh, it was such an amazing thing to have a word that describes the journey of the mother from the minute she decides to become a mother to the menopause. And she talked about, I'm not going to do her justice now, but she talked about mothering, this natural, innate love and connection and the nurturing side of us that comes out to mother. But then there's the motherhood, the patriarchal version of motherhood, this super mom, this bounce back, this start a business, this, which is everything I tried to do. Whereas there's a quiet voice within us that is trying to be heard, which is the mother, like the real nurturing mother within us. And it's not supported in society. That part, the motherhood is supported. Yeah, it's incredible what we don't know about the motherhood journey as a society. Pressure to be happily immediately and form a bond. Yes. I did a whole set of stories on that about the bond and the pressure to love. And from everyone that responded to me, it was more normal not to bond than it was to bond. Again, if we changed the expectation, wouldn't our experience differ? When we don't hold that expectation. Being so happy about baby when I hadn't formed bonds with it. Everyone told me as if she was her child before they felt it. Yeah. Very hard. The Hollywood moment. Yeah, Sinead, wasn't Layla just amazing last week? I know a couple of my membership girls are actually going to be doing her course, which is awesome. Alright, fear around ever being pregnant again in case the baby had a health problem. Like the thought of being pregnant again makes me feel panicky. Yeah, I hear you. Hear you on that one. Fear of having another baby. Feeling panicked. Fear of baby not being healthy. Okay. Fantastic. Really good stuff. We'll get going because there's quite a lot to get through. At any point you're struggling, please send me a direct message, or you need me to stop, or you need to stop, take a break, take some water. I will stop every now and then to check in with everybody. And for anybody doing the recording, the same applies for you. Just put me on pause if you need to take a few moments. Please let whatever wants to come out, come out. This is a safe environment. I'm holding the space for us all to connect to these emotions. They're better out than in. We all know that. That's why you're here. Okay. So first of all, we're going to do our grounding and our protection, and we're going to go to a visualized space. So just get comfortable enough. For those of you who haven't seen me tap before or haven't really done tapping, at the beginning you might want to watch everything I do, but then I think you'll slowly find a rhythm. You don't need to do Sinead, happy birthday to your little one. So at 2047, 2 years ago, I became a mom. So right on time, Sinead. Could this be any better? Huh? I hope you've had a lovely day. Oh gosh, what was I saying there? Tapping along with me. At some point you might get into a rhythm with it and you don't have to look at me anymore. You can just tap along and remember the point yourself. And don't worry about missing or skipping a point. I promise you, we'll all be tapping on different points by the end of this thing. So it's not about the specific point at the right time. It's just we're stimulating points in the body to tell our brain that we're safe and that it's safe to let go. So please don't be worrying about that. Okay, so taking some breaths. If it helps, you just maybe put your hand on your heart and a hand on your belly or your womb and start lengthening your breath a little bit, inhaling peace and exhaling tension. Allow yourself to get heavy in the chair. Allow yourself to be supported by the weight of the bed or the chair. And we're going to set an intention tonight. And the intention is to start the healing process, to start letting go of the negative emotions and beliefs held in our trauma time capsules. To do so in a safe space, knowing that we're going to move through these emotions and that they're coming up and out of us. And know that they're all valid. Everything we feel is valid. I just want you to imagine a pillar of white light coming down over your head into your physical body and encompassing your whole energy field, so maybe around 6 feet around you. Big pillar of white light. And this white light flushes down through your body, almost like a waterfall. And it just moves anything down to the ground that needs to go right now. Anything heavy or dense. Anything from today or the stress of even getting here. Allow the earth to take that now, to transform it. Continue the deep breaths or breathe as heavy as you like. And imagine at the soles of your feet, you grow some roots. These push down through the building of your house, down through the earth, the rocks, the caves, the waters, down deep down into the core of the earth, where today you find a sphere of rainbow energy, the rainbow ray in a ball, all the colours separate, glistening, sparkling, moving around. Plug in your roots and pull up this amazing rainbow ray from the core of the earth back up through the caves and the waters, the crystals, the rocks, the earth, the house, into the soles of your feet. And in your mind say, I command the creation of a triple layer sphere of impenetrable protection. And see a 3-layered bubble form around your energy field, and what the rainbow ray just floods in, pouring in through the soles of your feet into your physical and energetic body, filling this bubble. This is your sacred space now. And these colours are going to work on your physical body, changing the vibrations, healing the nervous system, allowing you to release and let go even further. We're all going to take our awareness now to the crown of our head and moving up through the pillar of light, up and away from those difficult experiences, up and away from past, present and future, up through all space and time, into space. Seeing yourself surrounded by the black of the cosmos with this twinkly lights in the distance, and moving up and up to a place called the Light Matrix. This is a very high vibration healing space available to you at any time to do some releasing work. And the elevator stops and you step down onto a woodland path. And you have a guide or an angel or an ancestor, somebody with you. And they walk with you along this path. And we walk ahead to a clearing, a circular clearing in the woods. And we see each other all coming together in this woodland space now. We see each other, we connect with each other, we feel such compassion and love for each other being here and doing this work together. We just ask for all of our angels, guides, archangels, ancestors, elementals, earth, wind, fire, water, all these high vibrational energies to just support us and surround us as we tap and do our healing releasing tonight. So you can either tap along with me with your eyes closed from here, or you can open your eyes and watch what I'm doing and just surrender and follow along, and don't worry about doing the right thing. Okay. And repeat after me out loud or in your head, but for new people it's good to do it out loud. Even though I have experienced a negative birth and my body is holding so much shock, trauma, anxiety and fear, guilt and shame, sadness and grief, so many dense, heavy emotions from my birth experience, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I've struggled over the past couple of years because I had such a negative birth experience and it just wasn't what I wanted. And it weighs so heavy on my mind and my body. It's really impacted my ability to bond and my capacity for joy and grounded presence. But I choose to love and accept myself anyway. And even though my whole body is holding all this heavy, painful energy from my birth experience, I'm here tonight to honor that rite of passage, to honor my entrance into motherhood, or my second or third entrance into motherhood, and to find compassion for myself in that moment and during those experiences. And I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Okay, so just taking a breath, releasing out. We're going to start tapping on the top of the head. All this anxiety in my body. If you can connect to where that is, maybe it's your chest or your stomach, just think about where that is in your body. And if you can also pick a color that would help you ease that anxiety, think of that color now. Bring it into your body. All this anxiety in my chest. Just use your own words there. So now we've got the the eyebrow point, the start of the eyebrow. So much anxiety. Lots of anxiety in the build up to my birth. So much pressure at a difficult time. I had a vision and a dream, and I was so anxious about creating that. And maybe there was also health scares for me and my baby. Maybe I had extra appointments or needed extra help, which created a build-up of anxiety in my body. And then just squeezing either side of the fingernails now. All this anxiety in my body. Anxiety at the unknown. How is my birth going to go? Would I be able to cope? Would my partner be able to be there for me? Was I going to have to be alone? I was so afraid of being alone. I was so afraid of something bad happening. I was afraid I couldn't cope. I was afraid the baby might not be okay. So much fear of the unknown. Would I have to wear a mask? Could my husband cuddle the baby? So much uncertainty in a really stressful time. So much anxiety in my body. An anxiety that I've held ever since. This fear of the build-up. Anxiety while I was on my own with my baby. And even anxiety about going home. So much anxiety. So much stress. But I acknowledge that I have felt that emotion. It was valid. Of course I was going to be feeling like that. It was very hard not to feel like that. And I know that I did the best that I could with the knowledge and understanding I had at that time. So I choose to let go of this anxiety now. I don't need to hold this anxiety anymore. This anxiety serves me no more purpose. So I choose to let it go. Don't worry if you yawn, that's a really good sign of release. Choosing to let go of all anxiety from every cell of my body now. Connecting in with that colour that you've chosen that represents peace perhaps, or love. Bringing that colour into every cell of your body. Breathing deeply. I am safe now. It's safe to let this go. I don't need to hold this anymore. It's time to let it go now. Okay, just checking in with everybody there before we move on to the next emotions. Take a deep breath, maybe a drink of water. If anyone needs me to slow down or explain anything, please let me know in the chat box. I'm checking it every now and again. Okay, We're going to start again on anger and frustration. Just give you a moment to connect. Calling all the anger and frustration in your body now. Connecting to all that anger and frustration. All this anger in my body. So much anger and frustration. And if you really need to scream and shout this, please do. And again, use your own words where appropriate. I was so angry and annoyed that I didn't get the birth experience I wanted. I worked so hard to create an environment where I could have the birth that I wanted. And it just didn't happen for whatever reason. I've been angry at the staff of the hospital, angry at restrictions, angry at COVID, frustration that this is even happening in the first place, anger about the whole situation of my birth, anger about not being listened to, angry I wasn't seen, so angry I wasn't heard. They didn't listen to me. They didn't believe me. So angry and frustrated. And it's made me not want another birth. I've been caught up and held and frozen in this anger. But I can't change what happened. Perhaps I'll get to a place of acceptance about the birth. Perhaps I'll understand that it couldn't have gone any other way. Maybe there was nothing anybody could have done to change it. Maybe I don't need to hold this anger anymore. Maybe I don't need this frustration. Choosing to connect to and release all the anger and frustration in my body now. Letting go of this anger and frustration. Just letting go. Choosing to surrender. Choosing to accept that this didn't go any other way. Maybe there was no other way it could go. Maybe someday I will understand it all. Maybe something bigger was at play here that I couldn't have controlled. Oh, I let go of all this need to control. It's so hard when things don't go the way I plan, because I like control. And I tried to control this situation. And I somehow feel like I failed to do that. I couldn't control it. Maybe I need to release this feeling of being a failure. This need to control. Choosing to let go now of the energy of feeling like a failure. It wasn't my fault. Maybe it was no one's fault. Maybe this was just going to be my baby's journey. And what happened, happened. And couldn't have happened any other way. Because it didn't. And I'm slowly opening myself up to accepting that. It is okay to accept it. It's even okay to forgive this situation. And even if someone did the wrong thing, maybe they're just being human. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they were trying their best. Maybe they were trying to make sure I and my baby were safe, even if it didn't come across that way. They must have had that in their minds. And forgiving doesn't mean condoning. And not forgiving just hurts me more. So maybe I open myself up to forgiving the whole situation. Maybe I can learn to forgive and let go. Gonna move on to sadness now. So just looking after yourself if you need to, taking some water. Okay, top of the head, tuning into sadness. Finding the sadness in your body. Is it in your heart, in your mind, in your womb? All the sadness in my body. Think of a colour to neutralise this sadness for you. Dissolving. I'm so disappointed that it didn't go as planned. I was so overwhelmed by the whole process. It felt like a whirlwind, like I really wasn't there for some of it. This deep sadness within my heart that I didn't get what I deserved or feel I deserved. Deep disappointment and grief. Deep devastation. I feel so robbed of something I wanted so badly. I didn't get to bond the way I wanted to. Didn't get that hit of oxytocin or that rush of love. And the fear of failure for not having that. Feeling like it was my fault. Like I did something wrong. All this sadness that I didn't get this rush of love straight away. This Hollywood birth. The one everyone expects to have. I didn't have it. I was far too traumatized. How could I open up to love and oxytocin when I was in absolute shock and panic and despair? I couldn't have felt that rush of love. Physically, I wasn't able to feel it. And that was not my fault. Oh, and this energy really held me back from connecting with my baby the way I wanted to. I felt unable to make my own decisions. Felt like me and my baby didn't matter. We were just numbers. Everything felt so rushed. I'm just so sad that I didn't get the birth experience I wanted. Oh, but do I really need to hold on to this sadness? Is it doing me any good? Maybe I can let go of this sadness now. Oh, choosing to release and let go of all this sadness in my body now. Letting go of sadness from every cell. Choosing to surrender. Choosing to move forward a little. It's okay to move forward from this experience. It's safe to let go. I choose to fully let go of this sadness now. Choose to let it all go. Connecting to that colour. Let that colour wash over you. Flood every cell. Just taking a moment there, checking in. Just if anyone's struggling or needs support, let me know. Anything new coming up that we haven't discussed. Taking a drink of water. The next energy is loneliness. Connecting to feeling lonely in those moments when you didn't feel supported. Okay. All this loneliness in my body. I think I'm yawning for everybody here, not for me. So this might be a big one. All this loneliness in my body. There was moments where I felt so alone. Alone inside my head. Maybe when I couldn't physically advocate for myself. Physically left alone. Before or after my baby was born. Physically not able to move or mind my baby properly. Feeling so unsupported by the staff, by the system and hospital. Having no one to talk to in some moments. No one to see or witness my pain. To witness what I've been through. To validate what I was going through. To see the effort that I put in to birth my baby. I felt so alone in those moments. Maybe struggling to feed. Thinking I should be bonding. And not knowing where to start. Or not feeling that energy. What if I didn't do enough? What if I didn't give my baby what they needed? So much guilt for being in those moments. Was I even present? Maybe I was in complete shock. Maybe I was powerless. Maybe I felt helpless. Maybe I felt hopeless. Feeling stuck and not knowing what to do next. Not knowing who to ask. Not wanting to be a burden. trying to be a new mom when all I wanted was to be in my own mother's arms, feeling held and supported and loved after such a traumatic experience. The last thing I was doing was, or knew what to do, was to mind my baby or how to mind my baby. All this shock and trauma and panic in my body. I felt so numb. I didn't know what was going on. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I felt like everything was being shattered, frozen in time. So overwhelmed by all these emotions and not knowing what to do. But that wasn't my fault. There was no support there to support me through that. Maybe my partner wasn't there, or they were in shock too. Maybe he or she wasn't able to support me through that experience. Maybe they were also in shock too. Maybe they felt like we were going to die. Maybe they were so worried about us. Or maybe we all didn't get the support that we needed in that moment of shock and trauma. God, I have so much compassion for that version of me now. I did amazing to get through all of that. I did so well in the midst of all of this loneliness, shock, trauma, numbness. Those early moments, those early hours, early days were so difficult. I'm amazed I made it through. It just shows me how strong I really am. How resilient and brave. I'm an amazing mother. Maybe this experience was the making of me. I choose now to let go of the loneliness. Letting go of all loneliness now. That was a fleeting moment where I felt lonely. No, I don't need to hold that into motherhood anymore. I'm not lonely now. I have a support team, family, friends. And if I feel twinges of loneliness, I'm in control of changing that. I can find my tribe when I'm ready. Choosing now to let go of shock and trauma. So think of a colour that would help you unfreeze you, melt you, something warming perhaps, or cooling, whatever works for you. Choosing to release this trauma from my body now. Choosing to unfreeze myself. Choosing to thaw the numbness. Choosing to allow my body to become alive again. To feel everything. It's okay and it's safe to feel. I bring this colour into my nervous system. And I allow this colour to flood and wash and cleanse and purify and heal all the nerve endings in my body. Bringing it with it a sense of calm and peace. Allowing me now to move forward with more ease. Releasing the blocks that have been holding me stuck in this birth experience. Choosing to feel safe to move forward now. Choosing to feel safe in general. Choosing to fully surrender and let go even more. Okay, take a breath there. Take some water. How's everybody doing? Is everybody still with me? Any tears flowing? Anyone starting to feel some shifts or movements in your energy? Any yawns, burps? Helen's yawning a lot. Awesome. Yawning's my thing. And burping. Mairead, awesome. Yawning a lot. Great. Feeling tired. Yeah, you're going to possibly feel like really ready for a deep sleep after this. Keep going if you can. And if you need to, when you feel too tired, come back to it. Okay, come back to the replay. It doesn't have to be all done in the one night, okay, if this is too much. So just do what you feel you need to do in this moment. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Going to do fear of dying next, or fear of something happening to you and the baby. Okay. This might not be applicable to everybody, but if you can maybe just tap anyway, we'll tap on deep down within us. We all have a fear of dying. So if it's not come up in your birth experience, it may have come up previously in life or might come up in the future. So let's all connect to this fear of dying. Connecting to the fear of leaving my family. This fear of dying in such a tragic way. Too early. I'm not able to be with my family. Not see them growing up. My children not knowing their mother. So many flashes of this fear during my experience or other experiences. So afraid of leaving my family behind, or afraid of something happening to my baby. So much fear in my heart, in my chest. Fear that something's going to go wrong. The fear I had that they wouldn't identify it in time, or that I wouldn't get to hospital in time, or that it wouldn't be picked up on the monitor or the trace. All this fear in my body of dying. It's absolutely safe to let that fear go now, because I didn't die. And my baby is okay now. It might have been traumatic for my baby. But I'm going to send healing light to my baby now. So just imagine this rainbow of colour enveloping your baby now in their current existence now, up in their beds, or back then at the birth, either just after or even before in the womb. Bring the rainbow light into the womb space. Okay, we're going to release all this birth trauma for the babies. We're just going to ask, intend, request that all the birth shock, trauma, limiting beliefs created, all the dense fear, anxiety, sadness, guilt or shame, all these energies are just transmuted by this rainbow light now and completely dissolved and transformed and removed from every baby or children that we are talking about tonight. Asking on behalf of these babies that the rainbow light heals and frees them up now, releases that shock and that trauma on behalf of all these babies tonight, asking for that shock and trauma to just be dissolved, released, transmuted, transformed. And so it is. Okay, releasing all remaining fear of dying, fear of losing your baby, fear of something really bad happening. Choosing to let it all go now. It's safe to let it all go. I don't need to carry this anymore. Transforming and releasing this energy to the light now. Okay. Continuing on to tune into the energy of guilt and shame. Think about where you hold guilt. A lot of people hold it in their stomach. For others, it's heart or chest or neck, shoulders. Just thinking about that. Guilt. Okay, all this guilt and shame that was created because of this birth experience. This guilt and shame that I didn't have the birth that I wanted. What if I did something wrong? What if this was my fault? Feeling guilt that I somehow created this experience. Feeling like a failure. Feeling so much judgment for this birth experience. Self-judgment. Judgment that I didn't get what I wanted. I wasn't good enough. Oh, I don't feel I was good enough in that moment. So painful to think about this judgment of self, this guilt and shame. But perhaps I did the best that I could with the knowledge and understanding I had at that time. Perhaps nothing could have gone any differently. Perhaps I wasn't to blame. Perhaps this wasn't my fault. Choosing now to just release all guilt and shame from this event. Releasing feeling like this is my fault. Releasing the what ifs. Freeing up my mind. The what ifs are no good. The what ifs don't help. They just keep me stuck back in that moment. But I am ready to move on and move forward without all of these emotions. Fully releasing any remaining guilt or shame now. I accept this wasn't my fault. And maybe I can accept that this was the birth I had. And I can't change that. Allowing acceptance into my body now. Allowing forgiveness into every cell of my body. Connecting with the energy of forgiveness now. Taking a deep breath, just letting that out. Have another drink of water. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. So if you can stay with me, stay with me. And if you need to come back, you can come back. Okay. The feeling of not being heard. Our voices silent. I wasn't heard. They didn't believe me. I tried so hard. I was also trying to go deep within, to really focus on what I was doing. But when I did feel something wrong, I don't feel I was supported. I don't feel I was believed. Perhaps I felt silenced. Perhaps I felt overlooked and suppressed. Unfortunately, a common occurrence for women in birth and women in general and women through the ages. And maybe this experience reminded me of other times in my life when I was silenced, unsupported, unheard. Connecting to all that collective energy of women not being supported and heard. And asking all of the higher beings here, all of our support team, our family of light, asking all of the elemental energy, all of source love, to be shared to all the women here now in this circle, to ease and release this feeling of not being heard, the feeling of being silenced, the feeling of being unsupported. We also ask that this energy is rippled out through space and time to all women in all situations, to transmute that energy of not being supported and heard. And we ask that this is released for all women and all women to come and all girls and all babies, that things are different in the future, and releasing that within each of our own individual bodies now. Releasing the feeling of being unsupported, releasing the feeling of being unheard. They're valid emotions to have felt, but we don't need to carry them anymore. Releasing all remaining overwhelm in our bodies. Releasing the pressure, this pressure on us to be this amazing super mom, to have it all, do it all, to be perfect, to look perfect, to have perfect children. Releasing all the bullshit. Releasing the patriarchy and the programming. Dissolving the motherhood programming that sits above us. Calling in golden light now to just release all these programs, beliefs, templates of what motherhood should be. And choosing to connect with the mothering side of ourselves deep in our hearts. Connecting to the 3 flames in our hearts. Pink, yellow, pink, gold and blue. Connecting and allowing that amazing nurturing mother within us to come out now. That amazing light to shine bright out to our babies and any child that we come into contact with, the beautiful, nurturing, compassionate mother within us. We call her out. We give her space to breathe. We give her space to be the amazing caretaker, compassionate and kind. And we let her fill our energy field and step forward, emerging from the ashes of what we have released tonight. And just now, I want you to imagine your baby's on your chest now. Straight after birth, you have your baby on your chest, and recreate the bonding experience here. It's skin to skin, and you can look into your baby's eyes. And maybe if you need to, you can imagine both babies on your chest, or two separate experiences. Feel your hearts together beating. Feel this Mother Nature heart energy flow from your heart to your baby's heart, creating the invisible string, the invisible cord of connection that transcends space and time, location, any distance at all. That cord is there. Feel your heart energy connect to theirs. See into their eyes. Welcome them into the world again. Smell the top of their heads. Rub your hand up and down their spine. Take your baby's hand in your thumb. Feel how small and precious that is. Recreate that scene. How does it make you feel? Bring that feeling into your heart. Feel that connection. And if you can't feel it right now, don't worry. It's something you can come back to, or it's something you can intend or wish for. Wish to feel that someday. There's nothing wrong with you if you can't feel that. We're just visualizing and wishing something. Remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between real life and visualized. So we're just trying to program your mind to connect with a bonding experience. Okay, just checking in now before we do a little visualization at the end. Everyone okay? Everyone still with me? Hopefully this won't take too much longer, and we'll let you go have a nice sleep. One or two have dropped off because they need to go to bed. All okay, excellent. Well done for sticking with me this far. Okay, I want you to take yourself back. Close your eyes. You're in the woodland and we are together, and we have done some releasing, and we can feel that love and compassion for each other in this space. And each of us turns around and walks away a little bit, finds a private space. And you have your guide, your individual guide with you, or your guides. And they place a small crystal in your hand. It might be the shape of a heart, or another shape, circle, triangle, jagged. It could be whatever crystal, doesn't matter. And I want you to speak into this crystal like you're holding it up and talking into this crystal. And you're going to say out loud, if you can, I call upon the loving energy from my own heart Just as this crystal was brought into existence and can be transformed, so too can this pain in my heart and body be released and transformed. Imagine now putting your hand over this crystal and imagine all the pain in your body, any remaining pain that we haven't looked at tonight. Anything remaining comes out of your right hand and pours into this crystal. The negative aspects, the emotions, the beliefs. You might even take the movie of your birth itself and bring it out into the crystal, like on a DVD. See it as a colour. What colour is flowing out of you into this crystal? And then say, I give deep thanks to the crystal for absorbing and holding my negative energies. And I now release the pain, issue, any attachment to my birth or births, attachment to the hospitals, the staff, the medication and the interventions. On behalf of my child or children, I clear for them any attachments to the same, to their own birth experience, to their shock and trauma, to the hospital, staff, interventions and medications used. Feel this energy leave your body now. Let it all go, let it surrender. Breathe deeply. And offer your crystal out to your angel, guide, ascended master, or ancestor. And say, I surrender all this pain, all these emotions and beliefs. I surrender it to you to heal. Let me find acceptance, wisdom, and peace from this experience. May my darkness be transformed to light. With grace and unconditional love, let it be so. Thank you for your supportive energy. Thank you, and so it is. And move your hands back into prayer position and see your angel or guide taking away your crystal back up to source to be transmuted and returned to love. And the angel comes back to you with a golden ball of source love energy. He or she places this in your heart, and you let this glow now and shine bright from your heart to every part of your physical body and expand out into your energetic field around you. And say out loud or to yourself, love and light, peace and power, miracle healing descends this hour. The power of love holds such feeling. Nothing escapes this miraculous healing. Surrender my heart to this golden light, opening up my heart so bright, peace and love enveloping me. I choose now to set myself free. Just take a deep breath in. And we all walk back to our circle. And we acknowledge this journey that we've been on. And send those threads of compassion and love to each other. And we turn around now, and before we do that, we just call all our energy back. Any energy that we have perhaps connected, we just call back into ourselves now. and turn around, and with your individual guide or guides, walking your way down the woodland path back towards your pillar of light waiting for you. Your guides help you up into the light, and you make your way back down, taking back with you this beautiful golden healing energy and a sense of relief or lightness or any other emotions that you can connect to right now. Bringing yourself down through all space and time, back down into Earth's atmosphere, back down into your country, into your city or village or town, into your house, back into your room, and find your physical body. Enter into your bubble of protection and bring this golden light back in to spread out around you in this physical space. And just take a moment to take another deep breath, perhaps take a stretch. Allow your heart to expand a little bit, bringing the shoulders back together. Bringing your awareness back into your physical body. Sometimes it's good to tap, or you might I don't want to bring awareness back into my body. I just want to roll over and go to sleep. So if that's the case, please feel free to do so. If anybody would like to share how you found that, for anybody new to tapping in particular, I've obviously brought in a bit of spiritual support into that tonight. That wasn't fully planned originally, but I hope it was supportive and healing. I had a message to say that I was smiling so much after that bonding experience. I hope that you feel okay after this, and if there's anything that wasn't covered, perhaps you could write down and look at another time. Any feedback at all? If anybody's still here, remember to drink lots of water, especially tomorrow. Flush out all the toxins from the body. Can people do a little bit of a check-in as to where you are now on a scale of 0 to 10? Let's have a look at that. Very emotional, Sarah. Tears and release. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was amazing. Yawning, burping, tingling still going on my back. Amazing. Well done. Someone's down to a 1. Wow, that's incredible. Not sure how to direct message, but honestly found that a great experience. Emotional but relief. Lots of tears from someone else. Someone's down to a 4. Fantastic. Well done, Shar. I know you were new to this tonight. Anybody got any questions? Emma said it was beautiful, magical almost. Thank you. Oh, bless you. I was totally in it. I was feeling and seeing and enjoying that very greatly too. Down to a 3. Thank you, Linda. That was amazing. Thank you. Oh, cleared jealousy too of other mothers' experiences. Hallelujah. Awesome. Well done. That's really good. Really, really good. That was something I hadn't included, so thank you. I'm going to write that down for the next time. Jealousy of other mothers. Any questions after that? I'm not sure how you're going to feel over the next few days. It's kind of how you will process this now. Emotional, felt tired, but felt a release. I stopped last 10 minutes. I felt like I was drifting a bit, but we'll do that on the replay. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can feel so tired and that's all that your body is able to do at that time. So please, you have honored that. So well done. If anyone would like to share with me at another time, feedback on how tonight was, that would be amazing, so that hopefully I can run this event again and help more people releasing their birth experience. So maybe a bit of feedback, in a few days or a week time or something like that would be awesome. Any thought I was going to sleep during it, but it cleared and I was able to continue. Amazing. I know some of the girls here tonight are in our membership, and some are brand new to me and don't even know what that is. It's just like an online library we're now at 60 different videos, meditations, tapping videos, workshops, courses. What else have we got? Resources, loads and loads of things to support you on your motherhood journey. So you are more than welcome to check that out. Sinead, it was beautiful, thank you. Some emotions didn't need to be worked through, but still tapped through and changed lots of the words myself. Brilliant. Well done, Sinead. Badly need sleep now. Yeah, Helen, amazing resource. Would definitely recommend joining. Thank you, Helen. Lovely to hear that. Nice to have you you girls online tonight. And for anybody doing the replay, oh, thank you. I am really milking this birthday thing. Anybody doing the replay, please get in touch with me afterwards. Let me know how you get on. And for anyone doing it in the membership, please, comment underneath this video. Please share how this was for you. I would love feedback too, because I want to be able to hold these events to support people on a bigger level rather than doing the more expensive one-to-one work. So thank you all for trusting me, coming on this journey. I've talked far too much now. I'll let you go to sleep, and I'll love you and leave you, and you know where I am if you need any further help. Okay, thank you all again for joining, and I really appreciate you being here. Good night, everyone. Yes, thank you. Lots of love.